parading the party in front of
How do
them.
you like it? How do you like not being invited? Because this is how we feel every time we see you unload that bull.
Yeah.
Oh, stop with the yeehaws. The party's over. Why, hello there, freak. So glad you could join us. Time to listen in on another seriously silly conversation with Gretchen and the Lukes. Ooh,
Hey there, Luke's.
hey, how's it
I'm
going?
ready for a conversation.
Oh, well, I have some craziness that happened up in Needham, Massachusetts.
Ooh, Needham, Massachusetts. I
You ever
I
heard of?
do. I feel like I do need them. I need
Yeah.
to know. I need to know.
Well, I just saw this headline. I thought this was pretty interesting. 23 sets of twins graduate from a single Massachusetts middle school. So, in this one eighth grade class, 10% of the eighth graders were twins.
Whoa.
So, that's 23 times two. It says the identical and fraternal twins graduated from Pollard Middle School in Needham, Massachusetts on Wednesday. And another student who's also a twin graduated, but her brother attends a different school, says the principal. So technically, there's 24 twins that are at that school. It's
At
quite
one,
unusual, says the principal. We typically have anywhere from 5 to 10 sets at most. Like,
that even sounds like a lot to me. I
that
mean,
sounds
like
like a lot.
I'm like trying to picture my daughter's whole middle school, and I don't know if there's any twins.
That's what I had one set of two sets of twins I knew in college, the whole 4 years I was there. I thought it was rare,
That's how I feel in my life experience. I don't know. And they're like mystical creatures, you know? Like I remember one set of
right?
fraternal twins that I knew when I was a kid. And like, but then I don't think I've known any twins since then.
Well, the chances of having twins naturally are relatively low, occurring in about 1 in 250 pregnancies. But assisted reproduction technology, those fertility treatments, is a sure sign of instigator of twins. So that's what's happening. I think it looks like there's a lot of fertility going on in Needham, Mass.
You need a mass. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
wonder
I
how
just
many
thought
of
that
the
was wild.
twins are from IVF babies.
Yeah, it doesn't really give those numbers, but
That would be such a wild experience. Can you imagine can you imagine that many like I'm just thinking of the amount of possibility for like a fun pranks and general like, all in good fun mayhem at a school when you have that many sets of twins. Like the amount of jokes you can do with Freaky Friday switching it up on teachers and friends and
yeah.
like a prankster land. I think that could be pretty cool, pretty trippy.
Yeah, and the thing about twins is often you can tell that they're the difference between the two of them. You could say, "Oh, I can tell that this twin looks like this," but you can never remember which name goes with which differences in their face. So like his eyes are a little closer together, but I can't remember if that's Mike or Mark.
Only if they're identical twins, their eyes would be identical, right?
Yeah, but I've seen identical twins that as they get older, they sort of begin to look a little bit different. But yeah, I thought that was pretty wild. Um,
I would love that to just, I don't know, have some sort of life experience where I'm surrounded by lots of sets of twins. I think it would be kind of fascinating.
yeah,
Just
I
because
think
it would be unusual for me.
I think if you had a twin, it would be a pretty cool. I mean, I would like you if you to play tricks on me, like you and your twin sister, switch out on dates and stuff. Be like,
Right?
you guys, stop it. I can tell your nose is a little bigger. You're the sister.
I wonder if you are an actual twin, a set of twins, if going to that school or living in that town kind of sucks because it's like
Yeah,
anywhere else you'd be so special. And
right.
it's not quite as special when you're not like the only act, in town.
Let alone the 23rd act, 23 sets. I mean, that just seems like like what happened in one eighth grade? There's a picture of them all, and yeah, they it's funny. They all look similar to each other, but yet you can tell there's a difference between the two of them, but yet they look really close to each other. But I'm telling you, and some of them are, male and female, so that's the obvious difference. But they you could tell like some of their their eyes look different, a little different. Their eyebrows look a little different. So I don't know, man. Yeah,
Would you ever, have you ever wished that you had a twin brother?
sure. Yeah, like someone that knew exactly what I was thinking and would love me for who I am because I reminded them of themselves. Sure. I don't know, like it feels like it'd be a little bit weird, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know what I would think about it. I mean, as fascinated as I am with twins, I've never like used to yearn for, or really want or talk about, like I never had like I'm happy to be a solo non-twin, just a
It'd be
non-twin.
cool. It would be cool if all of a sudden someone came to my door and they looked exactly like me and they're like, "Hey man, we were separated at birth, but I'm your twin brother."
That would
And then you're
be
looking in the mirror basically and you're like, "Oh my God, you let yourself go too. Jesus Christ. Look at you. You're 58. You look horrible." Like,
God, or even worse, they
oh,
look
they look great.
fantastic. And I was
They
like,
look like
oh my
everything.
God,
Like you look fit, you look young. There's no way you're my twin. You're my younger brother.
you did me
Maybe.
better than me.
Jesus. That'd be funny. Oh
Um,
God, that'd be just my luck. God damn it.
I'd rather not know. I'd
I'd
rather
rather
not know.
I'd rather think I'm the peak of my existence, but you, sir, are the peak of my existence. Oh,
I'm not even
could
close.
you train me? Would you train me? What's your
Oh,
name?
he runs him out of the yard, refuses to accept this reality, starts taking antipsychotics instead.
Right. Yeah.
Just would be
I
too
must
much.
be seeing shit.
That would shatter your mind.
Well, okay, so there's that. That was and I thought an interesting article. I just thought that number was pretty crazy. But then I saw another article that I thought was also pretty interesting. Did you know that African elephants call each other by unique names?
Yes,
Have you heard this?
yes. Please, though, read it. It's fascinating.
They each call and respond to individual names, something that just few wild animals do. And this is according to new research that was just published this last week. It says the names are one part of elephants' low rumbles that they can hear over long distances across the savannah. So they have a bone in their head that rumbles. I think we talked about this on a different podcast. And now they if you're looking for after a large family, you've got to be able to say, "Hey, Virginia, get over here," says Duke University ecologist Stuart Prim, who was not involved in the study. They just, I guess, interviewed him. But
Isn't that
yeah,
wild?
so your name could be and my name could be
And I bet the names they are giving each other very different than what us as like in a zoo keeping sort of situation are naming animals.
yeah, like an elephant. What would you name an elephant? Like he's a pachyderm, so you could call him Pac-Man, or you could call him, the dermatologist, or you could call him, Lenny, just to be different and ironic. Like a human name.
Or you could go like the E route, so name him something like Ernest
Oh,
or
that's true. Yep, yep.
what other E names are there? Ernest, Ernie, but that's a variation.
Elmo, Elmer.
Wait, does Sesame Street is the only one that has E names?
Maybe.
No.
Uh,
Uh,
and yeah, I can't think of Eleanor,
Eve, Evelyn.
Evelyn. Yeah, so there's
Okay,
some. I like
okay,
now he's got a trunk,
okay.
so you could call him Snuffleupagus. That'd be one thing you could like I'm thinking more like nicknames.
Yep. Yep.
You
You
can
could
call
call
him,
him just like the trunkster,
the trunkster, the trunkomaniac. Um,
Lord
big,
Long Trunk.
yeah, Lord Longnose. You can call him Peanut Sniffer. You can call him Nut Chowman. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I'm so glad they can name themselves and each other.
Yeah, I wonder if
I don't know if they like any of these names.
I don't think they would, and I think that they couldn't pronounce them because they're in English.
Oh,
But
on account of the whole different, right, species, mouth, language. Yes, yes. I wasn't thinking of that.
no, the elephants don't necessarily know English. But yeah, it's interesting that they use machine learning to detect the use of names. So they were recording these elephants talking to each other, and then they would try to predict whether or not they could tell who they were talking to based on the rumble. So like they were trying to figure out if this rumble was your name, and they
And then
were
you see then, okay, like this elephant responds whenever we hear this
right.
sound to tell like oh, who each one is called. Oh, that's so crazy cool.
So his name is sound of a digesting belly. His name is sound of an angry hippo, or whatever. But
Something
so
like that.
baby dolphins, I guess, do the same thing. They invent their own names. They call them signature whistles. Parrots also use names.
It's just like parents in a grocery store or shopping or a playground calling out to, offspring's name and
Hey,
people we know. I'm picturing it like it's the same scene.
yeah, yeah. And then, the mama dolphin is like, God damn it. Get over here.
And they're like, that's my dolphin eek.
Oh, it's funny. It does those types of noises don't come across on these microphones. So it
Oh,
just it looked like you were just taking a crap. But I know you were making a like a dee, 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 dee
like
kind
a
of
high,
sound.
yes, like a
Yeah.
dolphin squeak. Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
whistling doesn't come across either. We found this out on a different podcast.
Interesting. Is that like a
so
sound choice that gets made for you?
so I wonder if you could on these microphones, in fact, not call a dolphin or an elephant because of that frequency cutoff. Huh?
Oh, I bet you
Jesus. It's a
you
good thing
could.
like our
There's
podcast partner
some,
isn't a elephant or a
well,
dolphin.
yeah. I mean, now they can't be. I don't know if everything was decided, I mean, but now, like, you're right.
Yeah, we never really had that discussion. Like we never eliminated them as a possibility, but now we're going to have that discussion, and it's not going to be a fun discussion. I know you know a lot of really cool elephants, and I know a lot of really cool dolphins that we were discussing and considering possibly as podcast partners. But at this point, it would be stupid. Like if I can't even hear you.
Yeah, I mean, at least until we get more appropriate, like cross species equipment.
Yeah, well, that's not going to come anytime soon because that gets in the pricey range, and we haven't even
Have to stick
monetized
to
yet.
humans. Maybe a
Yeah.
cat or dog. I
Listen,
mean,
if the people want it, then they're going to have to vote with their views. We're going to have to really,
yeah,
get our people, our fans to vote with their views if they want elephants their low rumbles is part of our
yeah. If
podcast.
there's like certain species of a certain frequency that is like in
Yeah.
such demand. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna have to vote with your views, and we'll find that out. Now, granted, half the time if you hear low rumbling, it's just because I'm hungry. So there is going to be that factor still in our podcast because I'm
It might not pick
constantly.
it up.
That's true. It might
I
be to
mean,
our advantage.
yeah, it just might go. I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't, are we being censored? Is this censorship? Just sound censorship made
It
by
could be.
whatever
Well,
company made these microphones? I mean, nobody forced us to buy these microphones, but like, who's making the decisions for us?
I'm not able to catcall. Like, did you hear
What?
that?
Yeah, do it again. You pervert.
Oh, you heard me say wit woo.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe
Tell
I'm
me, do you
wrong.
hear this sound? This sound, can you hear this?
No, it looked like you went like this.
I did like a classic raspberry sound. I can hear you. Wait, can you really not hear? Let me try this again. Did
Oh,
you just hear me?
it sounded like you went. It sounded like a queef.
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Whoa. Am I? What's happening here?
Yeah, I
That's
don't
very
know.
strange. Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah, it's a
this
good
is
thing my
this is
name
only
isn't.
strange in my head. To anybody listening, it's just like yeah, what the hell is happening? I
It's
guess
a good thing
mine
my name is not a raspberry.
for sure, or an elephant rumble.
Yeah. So well,
But it could be a whistle, a whistler, like our mockingbird, which, by the by, while we're talking about animals, last night I did not hear the mockingbird.
oh, he might be. Maybe he got laid.
That's what I was wondering. I
Oh
was
wow.
walking around, kind of trying to listen, like, oh, did he finally meet someone? Did somebody answer the call?
I sure
And
hope so.
I
I mean, I hope the best for him. It's really sad after like the seventh week of just a guy outside just going, "Come on, what's wrong with me? I'm lovable." It gets sad.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm really rooting for the guy because it feels like forever. So we'll see tonight if I hear the mockingbird or not. I'm very curious. I may go take a deeper look into the tree, investigate a little more. Last night there was some like yard celebration action at a neighbor's, which is like kind of near where the mockingbird, lives.
Sure.
And so that could have been like a mitigating factor and why I didn't hear him because there were lots of cars parking like right there on the street, right by the
Yeah.
tree, a lot of people sounds. So he could have just been because he usually gets going when it's like it's in the dead of night. It feels quiet. But these people, they were partying.
You don't think he's attended the party? Maybe he was invited and you weren't.
You know what? I'm not sure. All theories right now are open to investigation because I don't know. You're right. I mean, he could very well have been invited to that party. I mean, there
They
were
might have
quite a
been
few
like,
people.
well, we have some female mockingbird friends that are just would you would they'd be lovely for you. We're going to introduce you, and so maybe he made a casserole. He showed up in his best outfit, whatever that like. I guess that would be his white flashy wings and his
Yeah, yeah.
bluish hue.
And if he wore dress shoes, I'd picture him wearing like the wingtip kind,
Yeah,
black and
got to.
white,
Yeah, got to.
just working
Nothing
with
but.
that theme.
And I bet you
And
he paid extra to rent the cane.
oh, for sure.
You know,
Have to.
he's
Classic too, black and white, but white tipped.
yeah, for
And
sure.
that's how, and I bet that mockingbird got an invitation using his mockery skills, his voice.
It's true. Yeah.
Because, last night I noticed
I sound like a
some
cousin. I sound like your cousin.
I noticed some really, really distinct yeehaws,
Oh, see that?
which even though we're in Texas, I don't always hear like actual yeehaws. And I remember thinking,
Huh.
oh, that's funny. And then after the yeehaws, followed by like laughing, screaming, like huge like reactions, right? And I was like, wow, they are having a crazy cowboy party over there, or yeehawing. And um I'm thinking because I saw a rental company that had come back, with a big truck to pick up a mechanical bull that they
Nuh-uh.
had at the party last night. Yeah,
They
like
had
a
a
full
mechanical
on,
bull over
like
there?
a big one, like that you would see out in a club or something, right?
No
It was
way. Oh,
so, I was like, oh, that explains everything that I was hearing. Now I had this whole new element to add into the picture.
I'm picturing the
And
mockingbird on the back of that bull.
I'm picturing him from the trees doing just as loud, like yeehaws and winning them
Ah,
over
yeehaw.
and showing off,
Have you been
flying
on one of
down
those
there.
bulls before?
No,
Yeah, I've been in the room when they've been there, but I've never been on one.
I'm, I'm like trying to picture in my mind. Have I ever been on?
You would
No, I
remember.
don't think so. Maybe I'd remember. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's true. There could be alcohol involved.
So yeah, but no, I don't think so because I feel like getting flung about and just being a creature with a spine has always felt like a reckless move at whatever age. I don't like
Yeah,
the
I
idea
feel
of
the
getting
same
whipped
way
around.
about a trampoline. I'm at the age now where I've been on the kids' trampoline, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. This is a recipe for me breaking my neck. So it would be the same with that bull. I would just be like, there's no way. This would be irresponsible. I would
Right.
There'd be no yeehaws. It would be like, motherfucker, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the act of writing it doesn't give me any joy to actually. I just feel like it would just be I feel like it would hurt. I would be scared and then I would really injure
Yeah.
myself.
It would crush my balls. I'd be landing on my ankle. I would land on my wrist. I wonder, do they have like pads around the thing? I mean, how do they prepare
Good
for to be
question.
bucked?
Because but when I got there, I don't know. Tables
Yeah,
had been broken down. They obviously like this was a big event, big party in their yard where they had rented
that's
like a lot of
weird
things.
that
So I
you
didn't see
weren't
that.
invited, huh?
Maybe it's because of like, I mean, I don't know if I was eavesdropping on this conversation about bull riding. I don't know. We might be a little bit like, oh yeah, they're a little bit like old and kind of downers. Like we don't want them coming over here. They're just going to talk about all the injury risks.
Yeah, that's true. We just did it just now.
Where's the mockingbird? Clearly, okay, maybe he's got more social game. It's
Yeah.
because he's single. Every creature has more game when they're single.
Yeah, when you're single, you're way more willing to do stuff like that. Get on
Got
the
something to
back of a bull.
prove. You want to
Yeah,
like get out there and peacock on a
I got
bull.
this.
You want to be like, I'm brave and reckless and crazy but now it's just like, holy crap. No, thank you.
Well, that's pretty
Thank
cool that they had
you.
that. I knew you could
Oh,
get like a bounce house for your party, and I knew you could get like a buffet, catered, but I didn't know you could get a fucking bowl. That's gorgeous.
that means now I'm like, what the hell? What else can I rent
What
for
else
a
can I get?
party? You know, what could we rent? Probably all kinds of things. I've only recently, well,
Like
in the
garden
last like
gnomes?
couple years, like seen that you can rent like big inflatable, but they're like huge wrestling or boxing rings for
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
adults to
bet
play
that's
in
true.
and like inflatable parkour situations. I didn't realize there were so many also like adult themed cool party rental
I
stuff.
wonder if you could one of those machines where you could see how hard you can punch. Like hit a punching bag and it rates
Yes.
how hard you can punch. That'd be a cool one to have at a party to see who's the strongest puncher, or better
And the
yet, the
sledgehammer one, a
sledgehammer
good
one.
old
Yeah.
yes.
Now
I
we're
like
just
how
talking
you're
about
thinking.
throwing a fair. Like
A
now we're just
carnival
a carnival. Yeah,
in your yard.
in your yard.
I mean,
Sounds
that's my
fun.
I think it is. That does sound fun.
Well, maybe we should throw a carnival and not invite them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just so they know what it feels like. And then we can just unload all of our equipment
in their faces,
in their faces.
parading the party in front of
How do
them.
you like it? How do you like being ignored? How do you like not being invited? Because this is how we feel every time we see you unload that bull.
Yeah.
Oh, stop with the yeehaws. The party's over.
The party's over. And this party last night, it went to about 4 a.m. No joke.
Oh my God. Were they cranking music?
Oh, yeah.
See.
It was wild. It wasn't really bugging me though, because I just was just doing my stuff, living my
Well,
life,
yeah,
having my headphones on, putzing
yeah.
around.
It would probably have bothered me because I was probably would be trying to sleep.
I was doing my like mockingbird research outside,
Now
wearing a
was
circle dress and dancing in the moon. It was fine.
Yeah, typical night. What
Totally.
what oh wait, I forgot I was gonna ask you. Oh well.
I took that question out of your head, actually.
You sucked it out of there.
Did that amaze you?
Well, if you could answer it, I would.
Yeah, no, no. I evaporated it. Evaporated that
Yeah,
question.
it's gone.
It's a new communication skill.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, it's a it's a new add-on to Rosetta Stone, like psychological techniques and stuff that you can practice in conversations. And so it's like, tapping into this like innate ability where if you see a question coming and it's a question that like you need to avoid for legal reasons or PR reasons, or it's just like, oh, I don't even know, you can literally suck it out.
That sounds like you should run for office.
Do you think?
With those skills, are you kidding me?
Would you vote for me?
No, but it would at least you would be able to fare well in a debate. You know, when someone was about to ask you a question that you couldn't answer, you just suck it right out of their head. Replace it with some dumb like, what's your favorite type of lasagna? Meat or cheese? You
Um,
know,
yes, true,
something a
true.
little more doable, as opposed to how can you fix the infrastructure that's crumbling in our country right now?
Oh, yeah, I would suck that one out of their head.
Yeah, suck that one out and just be like,
Too
I
big.
like meat lasagna.
I am a fan of lasagna. I mean,
Yeah, I made some lasagna, and it was actually really good. I didn't think I could do it, and it turns out it's a lot easier than you think. But one of the things that I realized is that my pan was slightly larger than my lasagna noodles. So I had some
oh,
like a inch, maybe a half inch on each side give to where the lasagna ended and the pan started. So I was like,
right,
I thought,
right.
is that like a new thing? Like I thought the old days, the pan was the same size. So I'm wondering if they're shrinking the lasagna. Like, you know how they're shrinking like the size of Dunkin' Donuts and they're shrinking the size of Cheetos and how many you get in a bag and all. It feels like they're giving us less and less. The Big Mac is smaller.
Is
KFC is
stuff
fucking
shrinking like
big.
that?
It feels like it might be. I don't know.
You're probably right. I mean, I have every reason to believe you. I just think I might not have noticed it if stuff is shrinking. It's hard to
Well,
gauge this, what size of, I think, feel like I could be easily fooled with.
yeah, it feels like that's the way they do it now. They shrink things and they charge you the same. So, well, wait,
Did you have a Cabbage Patch doll?
what? Why would I have a Cabbage Patch doll?
They
Boys
had a
don't
couple of little boy dolls.
have. Yeah,
I for,
for no, boys don't. Like, just because you have a boy doll doesn't mean boys want a doll. Like a boy doll is for a girl who wants a doll that's a boy, not for boys who like dolls. Although that I'm sure there are boys who like dolls, but those are different kinds of boys. Although I liked action figures. Was there a Cabbage Patch action figure?
no. However,
No.
you know what? I spoke out of our relevant timeline. I spoke out of your timeline. Like I know what, like I know you were a boy at whatever year, and I spoke more like,
In the
because
60s, early 70s.
now
So
it's a commonplace for,
does did
no
your boy
gender
have a does,
toys to.
does your boy have a Cabbage Patch doll? No.
Well, those I don't. Those are like not the big thing now.
Does
No.
your boy have any dolls? No.
Um. Well, hold on. Wait a second. Jeez.
I don't think he
Uh,
does.
it's he was given like the same options. Like I really made sure that both our daughter and our son had a few key elements of a type of toy. So they each had things that were in the a little human or doll category, a little bit of that. They each had, I wanted them to have blocks, animals, and then like train type things, houses, little things like that. And then, um, anyway, point being, I gave them both the same, but
And how'd that
they
go?
it was fine. It was
What did the boy
interesting.
choose and what did the girl choose?
Um the girl chose everything, and the boy, the boy, uh God, it's almost like I it's so cisgender, almost normative to say that he really wasn't that interested in the
I
dolls,
know, that's
although
my point.
he
I
is
know the
interested in
answer to the
puppets
question.
and stuff now. But anyway, all I was saying is I was speaking more of like what is allowed now, when you were like, no, I didn't have like,
Well, you asked me as if I would have had a Cabbage Patch doll. What I did have
well,
was
that's why I said I spoke out of turn of the timeline.
I had a GI Joe
All right.
action figure. I had a cowboy action figure. I had Army Men action figures, and I had a Ken doll that I used to dress up in tuxedos. Not, I didn't invite Ken to my parties because there was a lot of non-Ken action happening. There was some climbing, there was some gunplay, there was a lot of shooting and killing, there was
Listen,
maiming, there was
it's okay.
torture.
You don't have to defend your masculinity. It's all right. And my question was not an attack, I promise. I promise. It was
It
only
felt
that
like
if
a bit
you
of an attack on my masculinity. Like, did
it
you
was I
play
was
with
only
dolls when you were
asking,
growing up, Mike? Did you play with dolls when you were growing up, Mike? And I'm like, no, I didn't play with dolls when I was growing up. Nobody allowed me to play with dolls growing up. I don't know if I would have liked to play with dolls growing up. My sisters had dolls, and I probably could have played with their dolls, and I never was
I
interested. I like to shoot them. I like to torture them. I like to trap them. I like to dress them up in a way that would make my sisters go crazy. Like give them
you like
mustaches and put their hair in a weird style, or
were
but
these your dolls or these were your sister's
my
dolls you'd
sister's
like to
dolls that I
get
would mess with. Yeah.
and like torture them with it almost, huh?
A little bit, yeah. I was kind of a mean brother. I remember at one point I didn't understand how dangerous this was, but I put a pin in one of my sisters on one of her pillows,
Oh my goodness, like a straight pin, like a sewing pin?
like a sewing pin, yeah, and it would have punctured her ear out. My mom saw me that I did that, but I don't know, I was probably like 6 or 5 or something like that, and I was trying to do a practical joke. Just an idiot.
Oh my
Can you
gosh.
imagine?
Oh
Was
my
their eye would
gosh.
have been poked out, or I don't know, like
Oh wow. It would be fun to have each of your sisters on and just have a fun interview
no, I
about
don't think that'd be
childhood.
fun at all. I don't think that'd be fun at all. I don't think anybody would enjoy that. No one wants to hear about how cruel I was and all the things I
You
used
don't
to
think that
do.
sounds you don't think that sounds a little bit of fun?
Well, of course, it sounds like it'd be a blast for you guys, but it would be horrible for me.
We could have my siblings on too.
You weren't that bad.
I don't know. I black a lot of things out.
That's true. You were
Maybe I
drunk.
was.
You were drunk when you were a kid.
Yeah, I was born drunk.
You were born hammered.
And it wasn't from a mother who drank. My mother doesn't drink at all. It was me.
Did you do any pranks on your brothers and sisters like that? Did you ever try to embarrass
Um,
them or make them feel pain?
I think no, not really. I caused my sister unintentional pain quite
Yeah, but
frequently,
that's different. That's
but
just you being a
it
bitch.
was the my obsession with circus acts and pro wrestling. So I would want her to get involved in these sort of stunts or tricks but I honestly was not out to hurt her though. But it was
No.
just like my ideas were like so not going to work with I didn't have enough of an understanding of physics to be like rigging up some of these
Yeah.
things and then she would go in there and she would just believe my confidence because also I always believe something's going to work and I can do anything. And so each time she would do it and sometimes it would have crazy consequences where she would like I remember one time a specific thing I had set up in the bedroom that you know when in the circus there's an acrobatic act will use what looks basically it's like a seesaw and one of the acrobats will be standing and the other one will jump
Right.
and then one flips up
Yep.
does a couple and lands. So I had set up a situation like that in the bedroom one day, and I had my sister come in, and she was going to be the one to be boosted up and flip because she was smaller. I jumped from a high bookshelf when it was time. We were even wearing little circus outfits, and she did, but she didn't know how to do like a somersault in the air. So she basically she just flew up and just slammed into the wall.
Oh my
It
God.
was horrible,
What a
and it
horrible
happened so
act.
fast. It was horrible, and I was like, "Oh my God." Because like you're
Like,
like,
what did you think
"Oh."
was going to happen when she got launched?
Well, I thought she was gonna do a somersault. Like I showed her with my hands. You do a somersault. Like I was expecting her to know how to do like a somersault in the air, like the acrobats at the circus do. I mean, it's totally unrealistic to in my mind think that, but
And this is when you were 24?
yep, yep,
How old were you?
sure was. I was maybe like 11, 10 or 11, something like that.
Right.
I'll say 10. So that means she would have
Jeez.
been
You
like
would have,
4. Oh my
oh
God.
my God, what a cruel sister.
Yeah.
Get on
Yeah.
the edge of this.
Well,
I'm gonna jump off this shelf. I mean,
I
even if you
guess,
watch that act, it's death defying. Like the way they do that with each other and they launch each other up into the air. Like I thought that you would do that to your sister. That's just like Jesus.
yeah, I could see it happening in my head. I could see us doing it. I could see the act. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Mm.
Yeah, but anyway, but I never set out to like mess with her or prank her, to answer your question.
Oh, that's good. Well, thanks for the conversation.
Thank you.